Hi, Deb. Did you get a chance to watch that video, Muppets 11, that I sent you?
I did.
What do you think? Pretty funny, isn't it? I'm thinking about using it as an example for a multimedia project I want to do with my students.
Yeah, it was funny. But I don't think it's a good idea to use that, Tom.
Why not? I think my students will love it and that it will foster their creative thinking.
I agree that the kids will like it, but I don't think it would be a great example of abiding to copyright laws and fair use guidelines.
What do you mean? It was created by a student for a project. It was for educational purposes.
Well, for one thing, it was posted on YouTube, so that goes beyond solely educational purposes. Plus, only the owner of the original sources has the right to repost or give permission for someone else to use that material.
I see what you are saying, but do you really feel that it will cause harm to the copyright owner?
No, but that's not the point. That student did not include any links to original sources or provide any evidence that he was granted permission.
I see what you are saying. But it's not like this student was using this material for the same reason as the owner. His intent was not to promote the movie. He has transformed the use of the original to create something with new meaning for a new audience.
Regardless, wouldn't he still need to ask permission to use the material?
Not according to the Code of Best Practices guidelines. The purpose and intent of the creator weighs into the decision of whether or not something is fair.
But don't you remember that one in service where we all received the copyright and fair use guidelines for teachers? We're supposed to follow that, and Muppets 11 certainly did not follow some of those guidelines.
Sure, I still refer to those guidelines.
I can think of a couple of things wrong with that video. The audio definitely exceeded the 30 seconds. Also, how can we be sure that the material was obtained legally?
I see your point, but I think you're missing mine. Before you can get into specifics, you have to consider the intent and purpose. This student created something new from that material. It had new meaning and purpose. It wasn't just a repeated work of the original. Like I said before, I don't think this video is causing any harm to the original creator. It's not like people aren't going to watch the original movie because of this video.
I just don't think it's a good idea to use this as a model for your students. You have to be sure that they truly understand what is right and what is wrong when it comes to using someone else's original work.
I agree that we need to teach our students about these guidelines. But I don't agree with you about this being a bad example. I think it's just the opposite. I think using other people's creations to create something new is what we want our students to be able to do. It fosters creativity and critical thinking. How can we teach our students to be innovators if we cannot build upon others' ideas?
I just don't think it's fair to open our students up to the possibility of violating some copyright law.
But do you think it's fair to stunt new cultural work just because someone feels that his or her profit will be affected?
You do make some valid points. I just would err on the side of caution.
I appreciate your input, Deb, but this is a risk that I'm willing to take.
Good luck.
Thanks.